In the day's other news, Turkey showed no sign of stopping its widening war in northeast Syria, despite new sanctions announced by the U.S. More Turkish military vehicles deployed toward Syria during the day. And after nightfall, Turkish rockets pounded Kurdish forces around Ras Al Ain. Meanwhile, France and others warned that the U.S. withdrawal in northeast Syria and the Turkish offensive will lead to chaos.
Each day, each hour that passes, we can see the devastating consequences of these decisions. This is devastating for civilian populations who packed the roads to flee the fighting. This is devastating for our security, as I have said, with the inevitable resurgence of Islamic State in northeastern Syria and probably also in northwest Iraq.
Also today, Russia extended its influence in the region, sending troops in to join with Syrian units who took the town of Manbij. We'll take a closer look at the situation there after the news summary. In Spain, violence erupted for a second night in Catalonia after 9 separatist leaders were convicted of sedition. Riot police charged hundreds of protesters in Barcelona, swinging batons and even tackling people to try to break up the crowd. All of this came after more than 170 people were hurt in last night's clashes. Back in this country, new information emerged on the fatal shooting of a black woman by a white policeman in Fort Worth, Texas. It came from a Tatiana Jefferson's 8-year-old nephew, quoted in an arrest warrant. He said they heard noises outside and that Jefferson pointed her gun at the window an instant before she was shot. But Police Chief Ed Kraus said today that changes nothing.
The gun was found just inside the room, but it makes sense that she would have a gun if she felt that she was being threatened or there was someone in the backyard. There's absolutely no excuse for this incident, and the person responsible will be held accountable.
The officer, Aaron Dean, resigned yesterday and was charged with murder. We'll return to the story later in the program. Actress Felicity Huffman reported to federal prison in California today in the wake of a college admissions scam. She will serve a 2-week sentence at a low-security facility outside San Francisco. Huffman pleaded guilty to paying to fix her daughter's SAT score. In economic news, China warned that a tentative trade deal with the U.S. could still collapse. The English-language China Daily suggested that President Trump might cancel the deal. Last Friday, the president suspended a tariff hike and said that China would buy $50 billion worth of U.S. farm products. On Wall Street today, strong earnings reports boosted stocks. The Dow Jones Industrial Average gained 237 points to close at 27,024. The Nasdaq rose 100 points, and the S&P 500 added 29. And 2 passings of note. The first person to walk in space, former Russian cosmonaut Alexei Leonov, was laid to rest outside Moscow today. His feet came in March 1965, 3 months before the first American spacewalk. Today, hundreds of people turned out for the funeral. They included former astronaut Thomas Stafford, who joined Leonov on the first U.S.-Soviet space mission in 1975. Alexei Leonov was 85 years old. And author and literary critic Harold Bloom died Monday in New Haven, Connecticut. The longtime Yale professor was renowned for defending Western culture and literature against modern trends. His breakthrough work, The Anxiety of Influence, dealt with artists and inspiration and became a catchphrase. Harold Bloom was 89 years old. Still to come on the NewsHour, how the northern Syrian city of Manbij is a microcosm of the larger fight. An officer in Texas is charged with murder, and a national debate over police violence is renewed. What to watch as the 2020 Democratic hopefuls take to the stage in tonight's debate, and much more.
This is the PBS NewsHour from WETA Studios in Washington and in the West from the Walter Cronkite School of Journalism at Arizona State University.